The world has watched with keen interest as India and the European Union have moved closer to finalizing a historic free trade agreement. This development has been years in the making, with numerous rounds of negotiations and discussions aimed at bridging gaps and finding common ground. This landmark deal holds immense promise for both economies, potentially boosting trade volumes, creating jobs, and fostering innovation. Business leaders on both sides are optimistic, seeing this as a golden opportunity to expand their markets and enhance economic ties. It signals a strong commitment to open markets and international cooperation. By reducing tariffs and other trade barriers, the agreement aims to make it easier for businesses to operate across borders, benefiting consumers and producers alike.
The agreement comes at a crucial time in global economic history, with the world still reeling from the impacts of the pandemic and geopolitical tensions causing disruptions. A stable and robust trade agreement can provide much-needed certainty and stability. Global trade is facing significant challenges, including rising protectionism, supply chain disruptions, and economic uncertainties. Many countries have turned inward, focusing on self-reliance and imposing tariffs that hinder international trade.
The India-EU agreement is a beacon of hope in these turbulent times. It demonstrates that despite the challenges, major economies are willing to come together to promote free trade and economic collaboration. It shows that major economies are still willing to engage in free trade, setting an example for other nations. The agreement could pave the way for similar deals, encouraging a more interconnected and cooperative global economy.
The deal has the potential to reshape global trade flows, making it easier for goods and services to move between India and the EU. This could lead to more competitive prices, greater variety for consumers, and new opportunities for businesses. It could usher in a new era of economic integration, where countries work together to overcome challenges and build a more prosperous future. The success of this agreement could inspire other regions to pursue similar partnerships, fostering a more inclusive and dynamic global economy.
The India-EU Free Trade Agreement aims to boost bilateral trade significantly. It seeks to eliminate tariffs and reduce non-tariff barriers. The agreement covers a wide range of goods and services. This includes automobiles, pharmaceuticals, and textiles.
The deal also addresses investment protection and intellectual property rights. It includes provisions on geographical indications. This is particularly important for India's agricultural products. The agreement aims to create a more predictable and transparent trading environment.
The India-EU Free Trade Agreement is being negotiated against a backdrop of rising protectionism. This trend has been growing over the past few years, with many countries adopting measures to protect their domestic industries from foreign competition. The rise in protectionism has led to increased tariffs, trade barriers, and a general sense of uncertainty in the global market. As nations grapple with these changes, the India-EU agreement stands out as a beacon of hope for those advocating for free trade and open markets.
The Trump administration imposed tariffs on goods from China, the European Union, and other trading partners. These tariffs were part of a broader strategy to address trade imbalances and protect American jobs. However, the move was met with significant backlash from both domestic and international stakeholders. Critics argued that the tariffs would lead to higher prices for consumers and retaliatory measures from affected countries. Indeed, many nations responded with their own tariffs, further escalating the trade tensions. These tariffs have disrupted global supply chains and increased costs for businesses and consumers. Companies that rely on imported materials and components have faced higher production costs, leading to increased prices for their products. Small business owners in particular have struggled to absorb these additional costs, often passing them on to consumers. The ripple effects of the tariffs have been felt across various industries, from manufacturing to retail, highlighting the interconnected nature of the global economy.
The tariff war initiated by the United States has created uncertainty in the global economy. Investors have become increasingly cautious, leading to volatility in the stock markets. The uncertainty has also affected business planning and investment decisions, as companies are unsure about future trade policies and market conditions. The prolonged trade tensions have raised concerns about a potential slowdown in global economic growth, with some experts warning of a possible recession if the situation does not improve. It has also strained relationships between the US and its allies. long-standing trade partnerships have been tested, with some allies feeling betrayed by the sudden imposition of tariffs. Diplomatic efforts to resolve the disputes have been ongoing, but progress has been slow. The strain on international relations has highlighted the importance of dialogue and cooperation in addressing trade issues rather than resorting to unilateral measures. The India-EU agreement offers an alternative to this approach. By focusing on mutual benefits and cooperation, the agreement aims to strengthen economic ties between the two regions. It seeks to reduce trade barriers, promote investment, and create new opportunities for businesses and consumers. The agreement is seen as a positive step towards fostering a more inclusive and sustainable global trade environment. It promotes dialogue and cooperation as a means to resolve trade disputes. By engaging in constructive discussions and finding common ground, the India-EU agreement sets an example for other nations to follow. It underscores the importance of working together to address global challenges and build a more resilient and prosperous world economy. As the negotiations continue, there is hope that the agreement will pave the way for a new era of international trade relations.
The India-EU Free Trade Agreement is a strategic move by both parties. It allows them to diversify their trading partners and reduce their reliance on the United States.
The agreement sends a strong signal to the world that India and the EU are committed to free trade.
The deal is also a way for India and the EU to strengthen their economic ties. This is particularly important in the face of China's growing economic might. The agreement will help to create jobs and boost economic growth in both regions.
Section 5. Voices of Economic Wisdom.
Experts believe that the India-EU Free Trade Agreement has the potential to be a game changer.
They argue that it could help to boost global trade and investment.
The agreement is seen as a win-win for both India and the EU.
The deal is also being welcomed by businesses on both sides.
They see it as an opportunity to expand into new markets.
The agreement is expected to lead to increased competition and innovation.
This will benefit consumers in both regions.
Section 6. Navigating the Path to Agreement. Negotiations for the India-EU Free Trade Agreement have been ongoing for several years. There have been a number of sticking points. These include tariffs on automobiles, agricultural products, and access to each other's markets for services. Despite these challenges, both sides have expressed their commitment to reaching a deal. They recognize the significant economic and strategic benefits that a free trade agreement would bring. Section 7. Untapped Potential. Shared Prosperity. The potential benefits of the India-EU Free Trade Agreement are significant. India is a rapidly growing economy with a large and young population. The EU is a bloc of developed nations with a high level of consumer spending. The agreement has the potential to unlock billions of dollars in trade and investment. It could create millions of jobs in both regions. The deal could also help to reduce poverty and inequality. Section 8. A Catalyst for Global Growth. The India-EU Free Trade Agreement is not just about economics. It is also about strengthening the rules-based international order. The agreement sends a strong message that India and the EU are committed to multilateralism and cooperation. The deal could also encourage other countries to pursue free trade agreements. This would help to boost global trade and investment. It would also contribute to a more stable and prosperous world. Section 9. Towards a more integrated world. The India-EU Free Trade Agreement is a significant development in the global economy. This agreement, which has been in the works for several years, marks a pivotal moment in international trade relations. It aims to reduce tariffs, eliminate trade barriers, and foster a more seamless exchange of goods and services between India and the European Union. It has the potential to reshape trade flows and strengthen ties between two of the world's largest economies. By facilitating smoother trade routes and reducing logistical challenges, the agreement is expected to boost economic growth and create new opportunities for businesses on both sides. The enhanced trade relations will not only benefit large corporations, but also small and medium-sized enterprises, which are the backbone of both economies. The agreement is a beacon of hope in an increasingly uncertain world. In times of geopolitical tensions and economic uncertainties, such collaborative efforts highlight the importance of unity and mutual benefit. It sends a strong message that through cooperation and dialogue, nations can overcome challenges and work towards a more prosperous future. The deal is a testament to the power of dialogue and cooperation. It underscores the significance of diplomatic efforts and the willingness of nations to engage in constructive discussions. The successful negotiation of this agreement reflects the dedication and hard work of countless diplomats, trade experts, and policymakers who have worked tirelessly to bring this vision to fruition. It shows that even in challenging times, countries can come together to find common ground. The agreement serves as a reminder that despite differences, there are always areas of mutual interest that can be explored and developed. It encourages other nations to pursue similar paths of collaboration and to seek out opportunities for partnership and growth. The India-EU Free Trade Agreement is a win for both sides. It promises to enhance economic ties, create jobs, and foster innovation. By opening up new markets and encouraging investment, the agreement is set to drive economic progress and improve the standard of living for millions of people. It is also a win for the global economy. The ripple effects of this agreement will be felt far beyond the borders of India and the EU. It will contribute to global economic stability, promote sustainable development, and set a precedent for future trade agreements. In an interconnected world, such initiatives are crucial for building a more integrated and resilient global economy.